Good day, everyone. It's Scribbles here. Thought I'd just make a short video talking about Raku's helmet. Um, I'd spoken about it in the videos before with his drawing with the hood. And so I thought I'd make a little video showing Raku's helmet or helm. That was the first kind of idea I had. You can kind of see it more with a helmet in my drawing series. Didn't like it. This was going to be more of what I'm going to be going for. So I got the inspiration spark, the fire started, and I got to drawing, realized, hey, I should be making a video. Tried to stop as much as I could. So you go from this to wabam. That. Each archangel is going to have a different stylized helmet and armor. Each characteristic to one particular bird. In this case, with Raku, I chose more of a golden eagle, representative of just the sheer skill and the power that a golden eagle has, and the hunting capabilities. And since he is the sheriff of the cosmos, of the divine realm, he kind of needs those qualities. So Sariel, which is going to be in my new drawing series that will be coming up shortly, since he's affiliated with the afterlife, taking the souls to the afterlife, writing down the individual's good deeds and sins on a scroll or a book, and with also being associated with the scythe, I thought it would be perfect to have his stylized helmet and other things be more of a crow or a raven. But for now, I got Raku here, and so his helmet is something that just materializes, It's not something that he has to take on or off. I mean, he could, if he wanted, take it off. Otherwise, it just kind of like you see in the movies, it just kind of can just appear and build and like kind of go away and dissolve. And so I thought I'd just make a short video, kind of just talk more about what I'm drawing here, and then at the end speak a little bit about the cosmology and kind of how my graphic novel, some basis and history to kind of where my graphic novel will be settled in. So let's get started. Hope everyone had a good holiday. For those of people that are in the U.S. celebrating. We got, I had posted a video, my last video of the series for Raku, for this one. And I posted that on Friday. Cautiously uploaded it, fearing that with the holiday and being new to the whole YouTube schedule and rhythm, I uploaded it anyways, and between that and YouTube's analytics going all wonky, my last video, there was a definite change in viewers, which I figured was going to be the case. It was Friday. I'm assuming a lot of big name people release on a Friday, or nobody releases much at all, depending on what's going on. Because I know from my own YouTube viewership of just watching YouTube in general, usually on a holiday weekend, there's not much going on, so not too many people are uploading. So I should have known. I had a little bit of a feeling I could have waited until Tuesday, and probably got a little bit better of a response, but that's okay. I actually plan on making a short. My first attempt at a short to kind of like tell everyone, hey, I made this video, check it out. Or this video series, check it out. So that'll be attempted tomorrow, maybe. We'll see. I don't know how to edit or even know how to start going about, other than the YouTube studio, which I don't know too much about. I'm an older generation. If I don't know what something is, I'm not going to click on it. So until I know what I'm clicking on, I ain't going to touch it. Because back in the day, that usually meant a lot of painful and dreaded wiping of the system and putting everything back on and other just stuff I don't really want to attempt to mess up, just because I don't know what I'm doing. So I liked the way this looked so much that I'm planning on doing a bigger piece. A bigger piece on illustration board, and I learned about the graphite paper, the transferring paper. That was a light bulb moment. So many things that it was weird. I went to art school way back when, for a short time, until, you ran out of money, because back in the day, I worked full time and went to school. Didn't make much. Art school's expensive when you gotta drop a couple $100 in supplies like every week. It's one thing after a while when you got your whole library of stuff that you've accumulated, but I never got that far. I had to stop. Yeah, I had to stop after about a year or so in the program. Just started learning stuff on computer, good old Illustrator, Photoshop from back in the before time. But never got far enough in the program to do what I really wanted and do 3D animation. This right here, I was going to do kind of like a big ponytail dreadlock kind of thing with his hair, but I'm not too sure. I was planning on extending the feathers down and around the back, and I just didn't know just trying to figure out where the good start and stop is. That's one of those, that's something that you are witnessing is absolutely raw, off the cuff art and creativity. I mean, what you've seen that I've already done beforehand, I mean, is one thing. I mean, that was all done, but this is basically, it went from that, and what I did was took a picture with my phone, blew it up to the right size that I wanted to, printed that out, used my light pad that I'm actually using as a light source, transferred this rough image onto here very lightly, and then modified it to what you see right now. So basically what I'm going to do is finish the feathers, have it kind of go back and around so it kind of covers. think I will continue having a little bit of the hair coming out. Draw a little bit of the armor. And then once I get all of that drawn, I can do another video where I color it. I am going to do another drawing that another thing that I have came across that I hadn't learned about, because we just never really used it back in the day. I don't even know if they had it. I never saw it in the art store at the school, but you have this transfer paper, the graphite carbon transfer paper. So just like I did with this, I took a picture of this with my phone, sized it to where I kind of wanted it, because I'm transferring it on to I believe 8 by 13, 9 by 13 illustration board or illustration paper. But so basically I blew it up and I have that up in my other area where I do art. I have my studio here down in the lower level of my house, where the former person who lived here used it as a photography black room. So when we bought the house, I knew that this was a perfect area for my art studio and like a workshop area. So I got my own little nook tucked back in the corner of the house. But when I want to be in amongst everything and everyone, I will be upstairs, and I have my own portable easel, and I have my own stuff up there. And then I have my own separate area where I have my digital stuff. That's in a different part of the house. Because I have to have room for the printer and scanner, my laptop, and then my digital art studio, my pen tab. So I have all of that in one area. So I have a bunch of different places depending on where I go. But down here I kind of gravitate anytime I want to come down. If I have an idea right away, I'll kind of come down here, put it on paper, and then proceed to do whatever I need to do. Go on with my life and come back until I have time later. So not to make this video too long, I'm going to talk about a little bit of the cosmology. So basically the world is going to be separated into 3 parts. You're going to have the divine kingdom, and you're going to have the carnal kingdom, and in the middle, where the 2 kingdoms intersect, is going to be the human realm, or the human kingdom. And you have the lower astral, the higher astral, depending on where you are. angels on one side, demons on the other, clashing battleground in the middle. The fight for basically the soul essence or the light. The soul essence or the light within the humans is what, pretty much the battle's for. And so in my story, and the way I'm portraying with a twist is you're going to have your angels, your archangels, you're going to have your whole hierarchy. But then I'm going to have the Lord of Shadows and the Three in Shadows. And not to go into too much detail, but they are affiliated with some angels on the other side who kind of, both sides are sick of the constant battling. So they kind of just want to rip the Band-Aid off. They just want to get the shiz going. They want to get it done and over with. And so they're going to kind of mess shit up. And of course you got Tartarus. Place where the prison for all of the souls and the demons. It's kind of separate, connected with the human realm, separate from the carnal kingdom. It's kind of in its own little spot, but it's definitely not going to be anywhere close to the divine realm or the divine kingdom. Because if anything happens, yeah, it's not going to be good for them. So, including the human souls. So, that's why they got to be careful. Then you have the Dark Abyss, which the Dark Abyss is going to contain the 7 realms of sin. And each carnal sin will basically, or the 7 deadly sins, they're each going to have their own divine, or their, not divine realm, their own realm with their own kind of manifestation. The essence of that sin is going to be manifested into kind of like a boss. The boss of the realm. So that's pretty much the short of it. It's kind of how the whole hierarchy kind of thing is going. Pretty standard, kind of, no-brainer. Have some twists, some ideas. Of course, I'm going to be introducing concepts, mystical concepts, occult concepts, all different aspects. My stories that I want to create, their prime goal is to convey truth to humanity in some way. Deeper truths. And that way, it allows me to take my 30 years of work, research, and all of the time I've spent doing researching all various things of every interest that I've had, and kind of putting them all into these stories. I have 6 6 stories with ideas, 3 of which have somewhat of an outline. This, of course, being one, which the original title was Dark Redemption, the Rise of Raku. That name never really fully settled with me, so Fallen Redemption is kind of what I'm more leaning to. And so I think that's kind of where I'm going to be heading with the name, playing around with more of that. My first original story that I ever created that I started putting on this channel, if you were to go to my post section and go all the way back to almost a year ago, I started posting things about, and at that time it was called The Story of Seth and Sophia. But as I started doing the outline and started doing characters and doing all these different things, building of the cities, like mapping out cities and all different type of story building things that I did, it went from the story of Seth and Sophia to the saga of Seth and Sophia. It's now a trilogy, and it's going to go by The Seeker, the saga of Seth and Sophia. So that's going to have a lot of emphasis on what is below our feet, what type of world there is, and what type of world there was, both in reality and history, and a little bit of course, a little bit of fantasy, just for a good story's sake. And then my last book that I have a really good outline and idea for and character base, that one is called Sector 9. Sector 9 is actually probably most relevant to our current situation, especially with the rise of AI and the talk about smart cities. If you don't know about that, and there's the whole theories that go around that, and all of the fires that's been happening around the world, and especially in the US, and the future development of these smart cities. Basically, they're going to be a total digital, artificial city prison that anyone who loves technology and who is going to just be infatuated with all that type of stuff and into that culture, they're going to sign right up. They're going to get ID'd, tagged, microchipped, bio, the bio chip with all your information all on it. They plan these cities where you can just go to the grocery store, walk in, take whatever you want, and when you walk out of there, not only did the grocery store know exactly how many avocados you picked up, they also know the toothpaste and everything else, because everything is all scanned and everything is read and everything talks to each other. in these future cities that some of our world's tech leaders have envisioned for us. So I created a story called Sector 9, which basically is going to showcase what will probably happen. There's going to be a disaster strike in that, and so it'll be interesting because it will be projected slightly in the future when most of humanity has been moved into these smart cities. You're not allowed to go out of the city gates except through, traveling only by certain methods. Totally separating, the 99% of humanity, while the 1% gets to roam the world free. And so Sector 9 is, it's called Sector 9, Hope Isn't Lost, It's Found. So that I'm looking forward to working on sometime in the future. I can only see it becoming more relevant in the next coming years. So once I'm done with these first stories and get a couple of them under my belt, I will I'll be ready for that one. So then there's a couple other ones that I could talk about, but I don't want to give everything away. Don't want to give too many people on the internet too many of my ideas, because, it's kind of one of the reasons why I don't necessarily like talking about some of my stories too much, or me being so cryptic and hard to follow in some of my videos. I'm kind of purposely mentally telling myself to shut up, to not tell too much, and so when I pause and you don't hear me talk, I'm talking, I'm just not verbally talking. I'm more or less talking to myself. So I'm going to wrap this video up. It's been long enough. I don't even know. I haven't even looked at my camera. But, like I said, I'm going to work on this. And when it's all ready to be colored, I'll make another video. So look out for that in the near future. And, well, actually, scratch that. You'll be watching this video as I tell you to watch for this video. So, like I said, don't mind me. Sometimes my mind and my tongue don't always agree. It's kind of what happens when you can easily live outside the box. Years of creativity. Nice thing is, never get bored. And you always humor yourself. Even though others don't necessarily find you humorful. Until next time. Bye now.